Good morning. First of all, I want to acknowledge our friends and family here in Pepper Hill that are here. They faced some horrible tragedy in the last few days, but we're working to get them back as quickly as we can into their homes. This morning we'll have several people telling you what we are doing and the process that we've got to go through. We can tell you that of the 102 homes that had electricity off, 54 now have electricity back. We're working now to see how quickly we can get the electricity back on with the folks going into the houses with us on the other 48. I also want to personally thank those folks that have come in and volunteered to work with us to go into the homes. And these are professional contract people who are coming in and working with us for nothing. And you don't know how much that means to us. I will also tell you to personally thank the Robert O. Collins family who owns the property behind us. They basically called yesterday morning and said, whatever we can do, we will send equipment down, we will send people down to help open up anything back on our property to let the water flow at no cost to the city. Yesterday they allowed us to actually cut through an old road they had in the community, and all of a sudden you saw water start going down. But that's what it takes. In something like this, this is a 1,000-year problem. This is the reign of 1,000 years, and we're not accustomed to it. We're not expected to be ready for something like that. This is called the Low Country for a reason. But I can tell you that working together, government, the community, the power suppliers, the contractors, we will get back to normal. I think the greatest thing that we have to be thankful for is not a loss of death in this area. There's been 11 deaths accredited to the storm across the state, none here. And God has blessed us, and we will continue to work together to get back to normal as quickly as possible. To the people here in Pepper Hill and the other flood areas of the city, thank you for your patience. Thank you for allowing us to work with you and serve with you. And we're now going to allow some of our other people to address you and see what we've got. Butch Barfield handles all of our emergency situations, and he's going to give you a rundown now of what's going on.
Good morning. As the mayor spoke about the 1,000-year rain and the historical rain that we had created this flooding, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about FEMA and the process that we're just getting started with FEMA and disaster recovery centers coming in, and that has yet be decided. The mayor has offered our public works facility for that, for FEMA, but they're working their way down to set up a disaster recovery center. The first thing I want to, and I really want to drive home the point, is you really need to register for assistance. Because if you don't know if you have insurance or if you have a high to medium wages, you still need to apply through FEMA, through the websites that we've given you, or through the phone that you can call. They will walk you through the process. It's so important. I can't say it again. Register or call. Some of the items that you'll need to have when the recovery center opens up is your Social Security card or information, your insurance information if applicable, damage information, your financial information, contact, and direct deposit if you should have that. Once you register for FEMA, don't hesitate to begin your recovery process. Beginning making repairs on your home, make sure you take pictures. Make sure you mark your progress and make sure you keep all your receipts. Some from inspection services might contact you to conduct an inspection. We ask that you please register. As we go forward and FEMA comes in with our recovery center, we will be the first to let you know. By registering, you help get funding from FEMA monies, but it also may open up doors for you to get small business administrations. Here 3 or 4 weeks ago, we just encountered the same deal in some of our other neighborhoods, and the Small Business Administration was able to come in and offer some low-interest funding. That's it, what I have on FEMA. We will keep you posted as FEMA comes in and as our plan for the city prepares that. But we hope that FEMA recognizes our disaster recovery center and gives us an opportunity for the Public Works facility to be that center.
I'd like to thank Butch and all the personnel that really basically stayed at City Hall from Friday night on, trying to be where we could respond as quickly as possible. You notice that a lot of governments were closed this past Monday. We weren't. We needed our employees to get in as quickly as possible so we could start getting ready for recovery. Those that couldn't make it, that's fine because of their own situations. But we, as a government, have to make sure we're responsive to your needs as the citizens of our great city. At this time, I'm going to ask Darbus Brigman, who has been a great asset to us in this, his relationship with contractors and stuff, being able to work to get them out here to help us. And I'm going to let Darbus talk about what we're doing now from the building side.
Okay. Good morning. Darbus Brigman, I'm the building official with the city. What we're doing today, we have our damage assessment teams is mobilized in the area itself, and once we break from here, we're going to be setting up behind my right shoulder here. And I need to get the word out to the homeowners that still is displaced, that have not been able to get into this area. We need them to start coming back, and so that the assessment teams itself can get into the structure and start performing what we need to do along with the contractors and along with SE&G to try to get power back on for those folks. One of the things we have to do to protect the contractors and everybody that's involved is they're volunteering. But the thing of it is sometimes when folks volunteer, it comes back and, you know, they may have a problem later down the line. So what we do, we have a disclaimer form that those homeowners have to sign, authorizing those contractors, and along we'll be able to go in, but those contractors, so that they're not held liable for anything that, say, if something was to happen once we put power back on the structure itself. So that's going to be the main focus today, on those homes that we can get into safely and that where there's no contamination in, is to work with the power company and start bringing those folks back online yesterday, like we did the street right here, Ginger. We was able to work with SE&G, and SE&G has been a main asset to the city, and they've always been there, just like all the contractors, and helping us out. And they went above and beyond yesterday in rerouting the power to these homes back here and got them back up and running yesterday.
Our police department has been unbelievable. We've had extra officers working around the clock to make sure that our properties were secure. It's hard to believe that someone would come in and take advantage of people when they're having issues like this, but unfortunately in this world we live in, there are some jerks out there that would do it, and I make no apology for calling them jerks, but I can tell you our police department has been on guard to make sure we protect our people to the fullest extent we can. And I'm going to ask Chief Driggers if he'll come forward and make a few remarks.
To date this morning, we have not had any reported burglaries as a result to anybody's house that we know of right now that had to evacuate. But make no mistake about it, that if you plan to come to the city of North Charleston and burglarize anybody's home right now that is in this blighted area or any other area, we'll do everything we can in our power to bring you to justice and make sure that you're prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Make no mistake about it. Don't come here if you're planning on doing anything illegal. And the mayor brought up something very interesting about somebody donating equipment and allowing us to do what they did on their property. And I will tell you that it's going to take a community. We're in the throes of this. So when you come back to your house, look out for your neighbor. When you come back to your house, make sure that nobody else is doing anything. If you see somebody in your neighborhood that you don't recognize, please call and let us come out and check them out. That's what we've been doing in most of the areas that we've had flood water, and writing down names, allowing people to come and go, but writing down the names of who's there so that we can protect people's property and protect people's lives. So if you have a problem in your area, call and let us come out and help you, help yourselves take care of those problems and alleviate any problems that we might have with any crime in the area. And just do it as a community, and thank you.
I knew our fire department was good at throwing water on fires. I didn't know they were good at pulling boats through water. But I can tell you they have done an outstanding job in helping us get people out after the flooding occurred, and they're there to help us with anything they can. And I'm going to ask Chief Bolano from our fire service to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. The fire department began responding into this area Friday night and continued to assist residents as conditions deteriorated. We began voluntary evacuations, assisting residents out via boats and other vehicles until we could get all but 2 residents out of this neighborhood who were in safe conditions and wanted to stay. That included the evacuation of many animals. We know pets are very important to people. We also rescued 14 animals that were in various conditions here in this neighborhood, in trees and storm drains, in other areas where the residents could not get back to get their animals out. And we were able to rescue those animals and in most cases reunite them with their owners. We're now have moved into a recovery stage where we're monitoring conditions. Our water rescue teams are continuing to make entry into the water, working with Public Works to identify areas where there may be drains that may be clogged with debris, to try and clear those drains so the water will recede as quickly as possible. We're continuing to evaluate conditions and assist residents with getting back into their homes as quickly as possible. And we now have all of the roads are accessible by fire apparatus, so if an emergency occurs as residents return to their homes, we will be able to access those areas and provide whatever protection that they need. We will continue. We have teams in the area now assessing damages and working with our residents, and that will continue until our residents can all return to their homes. Thank you.
Once a month, none of us like to mail a check to South Carolina Electric and Gas. But I can tell you they are here for us. And we couldn't be more thankful for the effort that they have put into this area to help us get where we can get our utilities back on. These folks are great to work with, respond very quickly. And I'm going to ask Cedric Green from E&G to come forward.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cedric Green. I am General Manager for Electric Operations for here in the Metro Charleston area. Kind of want to give you an update on what we have going on.
Got to talk a little louder.
Oh, sorry.
No mics.
Got it. Again, Cedric Green, South Carolina Electric and Gas Company. I'm responsible for the Metro Charleston area, electric operations. Wanted to give you an update on where we are. Our outage restoration efforts started Saturday morning as the weather moved through the area. We were notified Sunday at around midday that there was a lot of flooding here in the Pepper Hill area. So we worked closely with Mr. Darby Brigman. The decision was made, collaboratively that we needed to de-energize this area. And we did so right around midday on Sunday. Worked closely with those guys. On yesterday at around 11 a.m., they informed us that we were ready to restore power to some of the homes here in the area, and that effort continues. I will report to you, we have a lot going on, as y'all know. We continue to keep safety at the forefront of everything we do. It's most important, safety for the public and safety for our employees. I'm pleased to have some of my guys, here with me who have been helping, working a lot of long hours to get us to the point where we are right now. But again, this area, we've had a couple of areas in the North Charleston area, but our plan is to continue to work collaboratively with, again, Mr. Brigman, the City of North Charleston, and again, as soon as we can restore power to the homes safely, we will do so.
Thank you. We also have a group, I can tell you, we're very supportive of a group called the Red Cross, because every time we need them, they're very supportive of us. And I'm going to ask them to come forward and make some remarks.
Good morning. I am Jennifer Heisler. I am the Regional Communications Officer for the American Red Cross here in South Carolina. I I want to say that the American Red Cross stepped up immediately, working very closely with our city and county partners to ensure that everyone had a safe place to go when their homes flooded. We currently do still have shelters open in the area, and those shelters will remain open as long as they are needed. Should the need arise, we are more than happy to work with our partners to open additional shelters as well. Right now, in the Low Country, the American Red Cross has also moved into a recovery phase. Our teams are going through neighborhoods, assessing the damages, taking a look at what we're going to need to be able to do to help families return to their homes. You're also going to see some of our mobile response vehicles out in neighborhoods. They have things such as cleanup kits, tarps, and other supplies, and those are free to the public. All disaster assistance from the American Red Cross is free, thanks to the generosity of the American public. Thank you.
I couldn't be more proud of Team North Charleston, and that's not just the people who work with us on a daily basis. That's the citizens that we serve as well. Working together, we're going to come through this okay. We're here to work with you as citizens to make sure that we can accomplish your needs so that you can get back in your home and get back to a normal style of life. But I can tell you, without our outside partners like the Red Cross, like South Carolina Electric and Gas, and our other governmental entities like Charleston County, Mr. Pryor's here today representing Charleston County, and I can tell you they've been a great asset to us in helping us get to where we are today, offering equipment, offering manpower. We will continue to work around the clock to meet your needs. Our police officers have been handing out cards that gives you phone numbers to call, gives you a website that you can contact so that we can help you be prepared when FEMA does come in. One of the things we learned during Hugo, I was on county council when Hugo hit, and one of the things that we learned, documentation is the difference. You have to document, and that's why our people are willing to go into your house, take pictures, help you ascertain what the damage is so that we can help you get the recovery that you so rightfully need. Any questions that the media has, we're willing now to try to answer. Yes, sir.
When this all happened, I thought I was back in the Mekong Delta. The only thing that we didn't have was the border. I want to say that from Sunday morning to this present time, I have this many people gathered to give assistance. I've been here since 1980. I bought the 4th house down. And I've called the mayor's office a few times about complaint, but that's, you know, that's a bulwark in me. But when I came back Monday, and I seen the people that were standing around waiting to give us assistance, I couldn't believe it. They wouldn't even let me help my neighbor. They wanted to do it. And when I seen the mayor standing there directing us out, that even gave me a lump. As you can see, I'm going to tear up here in a minute. But I appreciate it. And all the neighbors. I see the neighbors there every morning. I'm the one that walks my dog across and skips mail. And I see everybody here, just about everybody here that I can see. We've got to stick together, and we got to start over again. Okay? Don't be afraid to ask for something. We're Americans. We don't want anybody to help us. We say we can do it ourselves, but we can't. We need help. Other people's help. That's why we have that line right there. Just call. They might not give you the answer that you want, but at least they're there to help you. Okay?
Thank you. I couldn't have said it better. At the end of the day, I think what we all have to realize that God created us all as one big family. And when family needs help, family responds. And that's what we're all here, what we're all about, and hopefully we can continue to move forward in a positive manner. Any media questions? Yes, ma'am.
Family, I need help.
Okay.
I'm in the Forest Hill subdivision. My house is totally flooded. I have calls. I have done everything that you guys are saying I should have done. I've done that. Family, I need help. I'm displaced. My family and we're displaced. We get 12 inches of water. I've called. I've done the 211 number. That's why I'm here today. I need help, family. I've had the nod of the head. Yes, we'll help you. I've had all of that. I've even been told we'll see what we can do. I need you to help me, family. I'm in Forest Hill, the first street, all wood. Down in the cul-de-sac where the Papa Dam Creek is. I need help, family.
Okay. As I told you earlier today, we will be out there with you. Yes, sir.
What is the time frame that people just like her are going to, when will they get the help that they need?
Well, the help from what we can do locally, we're out there. We've got a lot to cover, and we're covering everything that we can as quickly as possible. FEMA is still not here, but that's why we're trying to gather the information. Since it's centrally located, and we have just opened our new public works facility, which has an emergency operation, we're offering that free of charge to the federal government to come in and set up where people can get to them easily. And it has all the modern technology and the electronics that they need. Hopefully they will accept that and take that location. We want them to be here as quickly as possible. FEMA's come a long way since Hugo. I actually went and testified against FEMA in the to the federal government back after Hugo as a member of county council. But they have worked. I think our president responded very quickly in making this an emergency area. I think our governor responded very quickly in getting that request in. I talked with Senator Scott the other day. He's up there trying to make sure that they get down here as quickly as they can. I talked with Senator Graham on the phone yesterday, and he's doing the same. We've just got to pull together, and we're not going to be able to respond to everybody as quickly as we would like because we have a limited manpower. But we're doing everything we can. Our people are working overtime to try to accomplish what we can as a city government. And again, Charleston County has been willing to work with us as well. The Red Cross has been unbelievably good. And then South Carolina Electric and Gas, and I can't say enough about the volunteer contractors that are willing to come in and help us ascertain the damage so that we can make sure your house is safe before that electricity is turned back on. We don't want to lose anybody because the house was not prepared to be lit up again.
Now, 50 people in the Pepper area are still without power. When are those lights supposed to turn on?
We got 48. As you see, E&G folks are here now. We're actually, the people that are here, we will go in their homes with them. If they're not here, we can't go in their homes until they come and let us in. And then that's when we will do the assessment whether the lights can come back on or not. If it can come back on, they'll be on today.
What shelters are still open and give an idea how many people are still in them?
Right now, we still have approximately 20 shelters open throughout the state of South Carolina, and we hosted approximately 600 people in those shelters overnight last night. I do not have an exact count for the North Charleston area at this time.
Is the Alcannon work camp still open?
Yes, the Alcannon Detention Center is still open, and that is a pet-friendly shelter.
And we had to request that, and we requested it because of Pepper Hill. We had a gentleman that had his dog that wasn't going to leave without his dog, and we helped him get out, and we told our people, I wouldn't want to leave without my animal. They don't sass me. My kids do that, but my dogs don't do that. They're very sweet to me. But and so we tried to make sure that we accommodated those people with pets as well. I remember. Good. You know, a lot of times our employees, especially our police department, get some negative looks. But I can tell you, they're people just like us. They've got hearts, and they want to help. Occasionally they're in a position that they have to be on the opposite side. But overall, I would compare the police department in the city of North Charleston and their concern for others with any department in this country.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are they planning on any way possible in the near future for this type of situation to not occur again? Do they have something in plan for this to be?
We will sit down after we get everything rolling again and review all of our drainage issues in the area that flooded. What you have to remember, this was a unprecedented rain. We will never, I don't believe, be prepared for the rain that we had without some flooding occurring. But we are now going downstream. Yesterday, we actually opened up a mile from here, an area that allowed more water to flow off faster. And it takes the people who own that property allowing us to do that, and they have been very cooperative. And I think something like this can draw a community even tighter together, to realize that we each have to work together. And sometimes it's like my wife and I have been married for 46 years, and sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't. And usually she wins. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we're going to stand tall for each other. And that's what we're trying to do through this situation.
You're going to notify the residents about any kind of changes or improvements?
Absolutely. It will take, we've got to send engineers out. In fact, I can tell you we had an engineer out yesterday with us, and they helped spot one of the areas that they thought if we could open it up it would help. We did. It had drainage pipes, but they were old. They were actually on private property, but the people who owned the property allowed us to come in and tear up their road.
Yeah. And what about evacuating? If we get another situation, not wait for it to get like this, but have people moving out quicker, places set up where you can go to.
One of the things, well, we had the setups very quickly. We can establish those through Red Cross very quickly. The problem we've got is people realizing, I don't think anybody in this particular neighborhood expected the flooding they got, because they've never had it before. So when they saw it coming up, they said, well, we're going to still be okay. But then it kept coming up. And it's hard to get people, it's hard for us to mandate that people leave their homes. If it's a hurricane, that's one thing. But for flooding, that's a different scenario. But I can tell you the people here responded well, and it probably worked out better for us that we were able to evacuate in shifts. We actually started evacuating Saturday evening, and then Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon. And it was hard to get down in there. I mean, I was out here in my son's pickup as we were driving back down in there, trying to help people get out. And then we were able to get, I think the chief saw a couple of military vehicles riding down the road and asked them could they go through water, and they said yeah, and he said follow me. So we came down in with those. And but again, we didn't hear anybody complaining. We didn't hear anybody moaning. They were saying thank you for helping us. And I think that says a lot about this community we live in. One more.
How much
Mayor, for us that I think was affected the most, we feel as though the Palmetto Parkway had a lot of dumps all of that water on top of us, and we had issues with the filters, and that was going to happen. That's exactly what happened, because we had flooding issues before this, but never this bad. This is the reason why we are like we are now.
Well, I think the reason that you never had it this bad before is we've never had that amount of rain before. What we actually found out that the drainage issue was the other side of Palmetto Parkway. And yeah, but we went and that's what we were able to open up yesterday on an old road bed that was through there. And we discovered that it was getting to that point, but then backing up because it couldn't flow through fast enough. And so it's now completely open and is flowing through. But that's the type of thing we've got to get back and look at and see what we can do to keep improving the process we have. I'm a realist. Today, under flood patterns, this neighborhood would never been allowed to be built. I'm going to be honest with you. But it was built, I think this was built back in the 70s.
Actually, this part was built in
81. We didn't have the drainage guidelines that we have today. And so it wouldn't have been allowed. What we've got to do now is to make sure that those folks that live in this area, because they were allowed to build in, are protected. You had this one question. And
how much water actually was in this neighborhood?
well, I can remember we came in, we brought a gentleman back in. I don't know if he's here this morning or not, with his wife. And we put him in the back of the truck and took him. He wanted to check his house. And I almost started crying when he came out and he looked at his wife and said, "I don't want to break your heart, but we've got water up to the top of the tables in the house." So that's pretty deep. And, you know, I put myself in his shoes. If I had to tell my wife that, I know how devastating it is. So I would think this is probably one of the hardest hit. We had some issues down in the lower end of Union Heights that was pretty bad. A lot of that was out in the roadway and in the end, basically from 526 entry ramp south. And we were able to get all that water pumped out yesterday. All right, thank y'all very much. Any of these folks you need to talk to, that's what they're here for. God bless you.